This is a topical tip for January entitled Thinning Beech Trees. I'm standing in one of the shelter belts at the top of our 2007 plantings in Close in one of the windbreaks. And the windbreak at the northern side of Close consists of ilex oak, Pinus radiata, and in particular a stand of beech trees. And these were getting very grown in together, and it was time to thin them. And so we've taken off all the lower branches because ultimately we want the crowns to grow and develop and to break the wind coming from the north into the new plantings which you see behind you. So a good job for a very cold winter's day, and basically it's a matter of removing all the lower branches. There are still a few more that might go there, but as we walk through this nice stand of 20 or so years old young beech, one can see the enormous problem which squirrels cause. And this bark damage, which occurred a few years ago, is entirely attributable to squirrels, and that will one day create a piece of dead wood in this tree which will probably cause it to collapse and fall over or split out in 20 or so years' time. The problem with squirrels and newly planted hardwood trees cannot be overestimated. If you look here at another bit of squirrel damage, clearly this branch will split out from the main stem because of the squirrel nibbling. You can see how the tree is trying to regrow its bark and cover over this gash, and it probably will do so, but the weakness in the tree will be considerable. Because we have such an ongoing squirrel control problem, I've seen far worse than this in other plantations elsewhere. But it is a real worry, and you really notice it when you come to thin and prune, as we have done, and taking care of a Pinus insignis that had blown over in a gale, which has created a hole for another tree, although I see a nice little ilex oak growing up there. Still a bit more thinning to do of lower branches. These trees were planted at 3-meter spacings, and probably that little tiny one there needs to go. Any weaklings need to be got rid of, and there's quite a bit more thinning of lower branches to do, but for the moment they're probably breaking a bit of wind. You can see how 3-meter spacing actually works, but you can also see why after coming on for 20 years thinning is necessary. And this is the time of the year to do it. If there was leaf on the trees, you wouldn't see what you were cutting, and it would take a lot more work and a lot more time to do the job properly.